Hey guys, how you doing? Today I'm gonna show you a dish, a frutte de mare dish with my favorite pasta, capellini. You wanna know how that goes? I'm Cosito. Let's go! Let's start immediately with the ingredients you need. The first thing you're gonna need is about 300 grams of frutte de mare. Those are a mixture of mussels, squid, and shrimps. What you also need is stock. I couldn't find fish stock, so I grabbed a fish bouillon. This one I'm gonna put in water and let it dissolve. For garnish, we're gonna use basil. This is a completely optional ingredient, but highly recommended. Before slicing these, stack them up each other and then roll it up in like a cigar. That way you'll chiffonade the basil. Next, you're gonna need 4 shallots. I have very small shallots, so if you have bigger ones, you can use 3. Following the shallots, you're also gonna need 3 cloves of garlic. These ones you're gonna mince right in the pan. You're also gonna need 1 lemon. This one you're gonna zest in the pan and also use the juice for the dish. And yes, you can use lime if you don't have lemons. An essential ingredient in this dish are the cherry tomatoes. No, you cannot use normal tomatoes because cherry tomatoes are more sweeter and we want that sweetness in this dish. And for all you alcoholics out there, we have something special for you today. We're gonna cook with white wine. Be careful with using white wine, especially the alcoholics, because you can use too much wine and we don't want to flood our sauce. So don't use too much. Lastly, we're gonna move to the star of the dish, the capellini. These are thinner spaghettis. Let's just call these the little sister of the spaghetti. These are my favorite pasta because they cook faster and they taste amazing. Now let's get cooking. First off, you're gonna put 2 pans of water on the stove, 1 for your capellini and 1 for the bouillon. You're only gonna use half of the bouillon block. As you can see, there's not much water in the pan. You only need to let that boil for about 4 to 5 minutes. While your pans of water are on the stove, you're gonna start slicing your vegetables. You need to cut the shallots very small because these will cook very fast and you don't want them to burn. For the garlic cloves, you don't need to do much with these because these are later on gonna be minced. They just need a little tap to be released from the shells. For the basil, you're just gonna stack them up on each other and then roll them up like a cigar and then you're gonna slice. This is called a chiffonade. Remember, the basil is completely optional but highly recommended. After you slice your veggies, the bouillon is probably done. It's gonna be looking like this. Don't worry about the little salt that's on my pan. Now you're ready to begin to make your sauce, but before that, add some salt to the capellini water. Put on a pan on a medium heat and add some olive oil to that pan. And later on, you're gonna put a little bit of butter. Let that heat up and then you're gonna add your shallot as your pan has heated up. You're gonna cook this off for about a minute and then you're gonna add your minced garlic. Before you add your minced garlic, make sure you turn down your heat to a medium-low because the minced garlic can burn quite fast. Mince all 3 of the cloves right in and then mix up your pan. After you add the minced garlic and stirred up your pan, you're gonna immediately start slicing your cherry tomatoes in half and add them to the pan. Don't be afraid if you think you've added too many cherry tomatoes. You can never add too many cherry tomatoes. Mix your pan up and then let that cook for another 1 minute. Now add a bit of pepper and then also salt. Make sure you keep stirring, that way you don't give the vegetables the chance to burn. Add also a bit of garlic powder to the mix. Then you're gonna do as if you're gonna grab your spatula, but you don't. At this point, you can also add a bit of Italian seasoning, like I did, without filming. After the cherry tomatoes have sweat off for about 30 seconds, you're gonna deglaze your pan with wine. Be careful not to use too much wine. I've used about 6 tablespoons. While you're deglazing the pan, make sure you keep on stirring and also smell the alcohol of the wine, because when the alcohol completely evaporates, then it's a time to add your stock. At this stage, the alcohol completely evaporated and it's time to add your stock. For the stock, you're gonna add the same amount that you added of the wine, you're gonna add for the stock. So, about 6 tablespoons of the bouillon stock we made in the beginning. Now let that cook off for about 2 to 3 minutes and keep on stirring, and then your sauce is completely done. Seconds just before you're taking the sauce off the stove, you're gonna sprinkle in your basil. Stir that a bit in and then take it off the stove. Do not cook the basil. At this point, you're ready to cook your fruta di mare. So again, a little bit of olive oil followed by a slice of butter. We're nearing the end of this cook, so at this point you're also gonna put in your capellini. If you have them, use some tongs to get the whole capellini in the water without breaking them. After your oil and butter have heated up, you're gonna put in your fruta di mare. Slowly add them in and keep an eye on them because those cook quite fast. You're gonna cook those off for about 2 to 3 minutes. While you're cooking them off, you're gonna add a bit of salt, pepper, and garlic powder. Make sure in the meantime you also keep an eye on your capellini and you taste for softness. Don't forget kids, we want our pasta to be al dente and not al mushy. At this point our fruta di mare has cooked off for 2 to 3 minutes and now we're gonna zest in the lemon. Zest it quite generous over the fruta di mare. This will bring out the sourness and let that cook off for another 1 minute. At this point your capellini must be done. Just drain the capellini and then you're gonna put it back into the fruta di mare pan. Just get it all in there. For the last step, we're gonna add the sauce that's been waiting on us. Look at that sauce. Ain't it gorgeous? Now you can grab your tongs and mix it all up. Make sure everything is mixed up quite thoroughly. Then the capellini fruta di mare is done. The only thing left to do is plate up. First off, add in your beautiful capellini. Then feed in your fruta di mare. After this, you're gonna cut and sprinkle the optional basil on. And lastly, you're gonna squeeze on a little bit of that lemon juice. Now, capellini fruta di mare done. Let's dig in. Yum! Tell me, how delicious did that look? Promise me you'll test that out. It's easy and capellini cooks very quick. Like this video if you have enjoyed and don't forget to subscribe! This has been Cosito's Kitchen and showing you the difference between a chef and a cook. Take care guys. Peace!